Imagine spending months writing the definitive guide on some super complex topic in your industry.
Oh, yeah, agonizing over every single word.
Exactly. You obsess over the phrasing, you carefully design the layout. I mean, you even choose the perfect typography just to make it this absolute joy to read.
Right, trying to create the perfect user
Yeah,
experience.
and you finally push it live, right? Hoping to connect with an audience, only to realize your most important reader doesn't have eyes, they don't use a mouse, and they will literally never actually visit your website.
It's wild. It completely upends the traditional model of the internet. I
Hmm.
mean, we spent the last, what, 2 decades optimizing for foot traffic,
Right.
trying to convince human beings to walk through our digital front doors and browse our aisles.
Welcome to the deep dive. We are anchoring this entire conversation entirely on the SEO Daily Technology Report dated precisely July 16th, 2026.
And the reality mapped out in this data is, well, it's pretty stark.
Totally. Whether you are a digital marketer trying to sell a product, maybe an academic researcher publishing papers, or just, a curious person looking for answers, the mechanics of discovery have been completely rewired.
Yeah. You might be pouring your heart out writing for a human, but the gatekeepers deciding if you even exist is now an AI.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because before we dive into how to optimize your site based on this July 16th, 2026 data, we need to understand the fundamental mechanics of what is actually doing the searching now.
Right. The searcher itself has changed.
Exactly. Traditional SEO was basically like building an attractive storefront on a busy street. You designed a bright neon sign, which was your title tag, you put your best products in the window, and you waited for a human to just walk by, see it, and physically step inside.
The human expended all the effort to browse. They did the legwork.
But the report identifies Agentic SEO as the defining trend of 2026. And that changes the whole physical architecture of the web.
It really does.
It's like we aren't building storefronts for foot traffic anymore. Instead, we are building these hyper-organized, windowless warehouses for robot personal shoppers.
What's fascinating here is that it's a windowless warehouse, sure, but it's even more extreme than that.
Yeah.
It's a warehouse where the robot doesn't even bother to walk down the aisles.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, it scans the barcodes right from the loading dock. If your digital boxes don't have perfectly printed machine-readable barcodes on the outside, the agent doesn't even open them to see how great your product is.
Wow.
It just moves to the next warehouse.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking about autonomous LLM-powered agents that plan, execute, and iterate on these multi-step research tasks without any step-by-step human guidance.
Right, and the report specifically highlights platforms like Conductor's Agent Stack, which that launched back in April of 2026, right?
Yep, Agent Stack, and also Noyamos AI.
Right, Noyamos AI. These systems are actively replacing the entire manual pipeline of researching, gathering, and summarizing. And the sheer volume of the shift is just wild to me.
It's moving so fast.
I saw data from the Lizard AI platform in the report showing agentic traffic generated by autonomous bots working for humans growing at 5.26% month over month.
Which is a massive number when you compound it.
Exactly. That compound growth means a massive chunk of internet navigation isn't even happening in a browser window anymore.
And look at Google's environment. As of this exact July 2026 snapshot, AI overviews completely dominate the results now.
Yeah, you barely see the blue links sometimes.
Right. And AI mode, their fully conversational search interface, is expanding rapidly. But, this transition is incredibly volatile.
Well, yeah, because wherever there is a new system, there is an entire industry of people trying to, exploit it.
Naturally.
The data shows Google is policing this aggressively. Look at that massive spam update from June 2026. It specifically targeted low-quality content that was just desperately trying to game these new AI overviews.
And they had to because the SRPs are getting messy.
Yeah. And then, just days prior to this report, so on July 11th and 12th, the entire industry completely panicked over massive ranking volatility.
I remember everyone assumed it was some covert, massive algorithm update.
But it wasn't, right? It was just Google running live tests on their AI overviews.
Exactly. It shows how experimental the landscape still is. And people are always looking for shortcuts.
Oh, for sure.
For instance, developers recently started adding these LMMs.txt files to their sites.
Right, I read about that.
Yeah, they assumed they could talk directly to the AI crawlers and somehow artificially boost their visibility. Google actually had to publicly step in and clarify that those files do not influence search rankings whatsoever.
So you can't just upload a secret text file and trick the robot shopper into picking your product. There is no magic technical hack.
None at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the organic click-through rates for informational queries are in absolute free fall right now. People just aren't clicking links for simple answers anymore.
Right? Why would they?
Exactly. But the referral traffic and the brand lift you get from being explicitly cited by an AI,
Yeah.
that is where the actual value lies now.
Here's where it gets really interesting and, frankly, a bit terrifying if your livelihood depends on web traffic. Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, is the new standard.
It absolutely is.
The goal is to optimize for ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, and Google AI overviews. The report actually cites Princeton-backed research proving that structured, authoritative, citation-rich content is mathematically much more likely to be sourced by these models.
It is a totally validated subdiscipline now. Even Google's own documentation from early 2026 openly stated that optimizing for generative AI is simply optimizing for the modern search experience.
And the report mentions tools like Evertune, Phrase, and WordStream's GEO guide leading the charge on this. But hold on, I have to push back a little on this whole concept of answer engine optimization and, zero-click search.
Yeah, go for it.
If a user asks a complex question, right, and the AI reads my website, extracts my perfectly structured answer, and just hands it to the user directly on the search page, the user never actually clicks my link.
Right. They get the answer and leave.
Exactly. They get what they need and they bounce. If I run a business, I can't pay my staff with an AI citation. I need human beings clicking to buy my service or read my ads or whatever. Aren't we just handing over our hard work for free to train our replacements?
Look, it is a completely natural reaction to feel robbed of that initial top-of-funnel interaction. It definitely feels like you're losing the game.
It really does.
But we have to fundamentally rethink the mechanics of user psychology in a zero-click environment. It is no longer about that immediate, cheap informational click.
Okay, defend that for me. Because, zero clicks still sounds like zero revenue.
Well, look at the downstream metrics in the report.
Yeah.
Brands that earn the citation as the primary source in a zero-click AI answer actually experience 3 to 5 times higher brand recall.
Wait, really? 3 to 5 times?
Yes. And that recall translates into significantly higher downstream branded search traffic. Think about how the user actually interacts with the AI.
Okay.
When ChatGPT or an AI overview says, here's the factual answer, and I verified this data using this specific brand, the AI acts as an objective third-party validator.
Ah, I see.
Right. It transfers its massive built-in trust directly to you. So later, when that user actually needs to make a purchase or they need deeper consulting, they don't search for the generic topic anymore.
They search for you.
Exactly. They open a new tab and search for your brand by name. You willingly sacrifice the cheap informational click today to win the highly lucrative conversion click tomorrow.
So it's basically the ultimate long game.
Completely.
If you refuse to structure your data just out of spite for losing that initial click, the AI just bypasses you, right? It cites your competitor instead, and then your competitor gets all that downstream brand trust.
Exactly. You lose the initial click anyway, plus you lose all that valuable brand recall.
Wow. That is a pretty brutal reality check. So how do we actually prove to a cold calculating machine that we are the definitive authority it should cite?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right, because a human user might look at my website's sleek design, maybe read my witty bio and feel a sense of trust. And AI doesn't feel anything. How does a machine verify credibility?
It relies on 3 rigid pillars of technical proof.
Okay, let's hear them.
The first pillar is authority, which stems from EET, but we have to look at how AI actually interprets those signals, particularly for YMYL, your money, or your life topics.
Right, the sensitive stuff.
Yeah. An LLM doesn't need you to repackage existing information. It can summarize Wikipedia in a millisecond. What it desperately needs is net new information to feed its knowledge graph.
Which totally explains the 2026 Moz predictions in the report. They emphasize that digital PR is just completely non-negotiable now.
Absolutely.
AI needs your original research, your raw data, and all your external press mentions.
Because the machine evaluates signals across the entire web, not just on your specific domain.
Makes sense.
Sites with legitimate press mentions, industry citations, and real expert authorship profiles have shown incredible resilience to Google's core algorithm updates. SEO and public relations are basically a single, inseparable discipline now.
So PR establishes your external authority. That brings us to the second pillar, right? Structure.
Yes, structure.
This goes back to my warehouse barcode analogy. If PR proves your authority, structure is how the AI physically extracts the facts from your page. We were talking about schema markup, and Entity SEO.
JSON LD is the primary mechanism here. You have to explicitly define the entities, the people, places, and concepts. So the AI's inference engine doesn't waste its compute power guessing what your page is even about.
You just hand it to them on a silver platter.
Exactly. And interestingly, Google quietly rolled out a July 2026 update, introducing a new way to label product categories directly in the page markup. They are constantly expanding the vocabulary they want us to use to feed them structured data.
Because perfectly structured FAQ content is basically pre-digested food for an AI assistant, right? It just lifts it directly.
Spot on.
Okay, so we have authority through PR, we have structure through schema. What is the final pillar of proof?
Performance, specifically your core web vitals. The industry analysis in the July 16th report reveals a pretty staggering metric.
Oh.
Yeah, sites with superior core web vitals recover 22% faster from Google core updates.
Wait, I have to stop you right there.
Okay.
If my primary reader is an autonomous AI agent just scraping my code, why in the world does it care about my core web vitals? I mean, the threshold for INP interaction to next pane has to be under 200 milliseconds.
Right.
My largest contentful paint has to be under 2.5 seconds, and cumulative layout shift has to be under 0.1.
Those are the benchmarks.
But bots don't click buttons. They don't get annoyed if an image loads slowly and shifts the text down the screen. Why am I obsessing over a 200 millisecond interaction delay for a literal machine?
It is a fantastic contradiction, isn't it? And you are completely right. The bot itself does not care if your layout shifts.
Right.
But we have to remember the underlying mechanism of Google's overarching ranking system. Google still relies heavily on aggregate human user experience as a proxy for domain quality.
Oh, I see.
The AI is programmed to only source from highly trusted premium domains. If your site is sluggish, unresponsive, and visually broken for the actual humans who do visit, Google's core algorithm demotes the domain's overall quality score.
So it's a trickle-down effect.
Exactly. An AI agent is not going to cite a domain that Google considers a poor user experience, no matter how perfectly coded the JSON LD is.
Okay, so what does this all mean for a team? When I look at these three pillars, authority through digital PR, structure through complex schema code, and performance through human-centric web vitals, it hits me that PR, web development, and content creation used to be entirely separate worlds.
Oh, completely silent.
Yeah, like the PR team pitching journalists rarely, if ever, talk to the back-end developers optimizing server response times. But now, they are inherently linked.
It has to be.
They are all just translating human credibility into a technical language that AI can verify. If the server is slow, the AI doesn't trust the PR. If the schema is broken, the AI can't read the content.
You simply cannot succeed in agentic SEO if those three departments are not operating as a single unit.
Okay, let's say a marketing team actually pulls this off. They have incredible original research driving their external authority, their schema barcode is totally flawless, and their server responds in 150 milliseconds.
A perfect setup.
Right. How do they actually know if it's working? Because if the ultimate goal is earning a citation in a zero-click AI summary, my traditional rank tracker is completely blind.
It really is.
It tells me I rank number 3 on a traditional SERP piece, sure, but it has no idea what ChatGPT is telling millions of users about my brand behind closed doors.
And that massive blind spot is exactly what forced the industry to invent a whole new category of measurement for 2026.
AI visibility tracking. The core metric of success totally shifted from where do we rank to did the AI cite us?
And looking at the landscape in the report, we have this whole new ecosystem of tools designed to measure this invisible metric.
It's exploded.
You have platforms like GrowthOS tracking grand mentions across 15 different AI chat interfaces.
Yeah.
And then Profound is basically serving as the benchmark for enterprise reporting on ChatGPT, Google AI Overviews, and Perplexity.
Yep.
Or, if you need leaner solutions, tools like Audely.ai and Peak AI are great. Plus, ZipTie is specifically mapping how agents recommend e-commerce products.
The specialized tools are definitely fascinating, but I think the real story is how the traditional titans of the SEO stack are adapting to this structural shift.
How so?
The legacy platforms are basically evolving into unified command centers.
Like SEMrush and Eris.
Right. SEMrush, which is sitting at $119.95 a month for their pro tier, remains the dominant all-in-one platform in 2026. And their major innovation to handle all this sheer complexity is their AI copilot.
Okay, how does that work? Instead of forcing marketers to manually cross-reference traditional keyword spreadsheets with new AI visibility metrics, the copilot interprets the data dynamically.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, it handles the routine reporting conversationally. It synthesizes multi-channel performance so professionals can focus on high-level strategy rather than just boring data entry.
And Ahrefs is totally matching that pace. I mean, at $99 a month for Lite, they are still the undisputed gold standard for backlink analysis. The report highlights that their crawled link index updates every 15 to 30 minutes for top domains.
Which is just crazy fast.
The sheer processing power required to monitor the entire web in near real time is mind-blowing.
It is an incredible engineering feat, honestly. And in 2026, Ahrefs has integrated AI-assisted Site Explorer insights that automatically identify link velocity anomalies and toxic link patterns without any human prompting.
Just doing the heavy lifting for you?
Exactly. But crucially for our discussion today, they have launched their own dedicated AI visibility tracking feature. They are directly integrating generative AI citation tracking right next to traditional backlink data.
So you don't necessarily need a fragmented tech stack anymore?
No, not at all.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, teams finally have a unified dashboard. You can balance optimizing for the traditional human searcher who, absolutely still exists, while actively tracking your generative AI citation rate all in one place.
It is the rapid maturation of an industry that was turned upside down just a few years ago.
It really is a completely different landscape to navigate. Just to recap the massive shift mapped out in this July 16th, 2026 technology report. We have decisively moved away from humans typing keywords into a little white box toward autonomous agents reading JSON-LD markup.
A huge leap.
And we are moving away from aggressively chasing top-of-funnel clicks and shifting toward earning generative AI citations that build massive long-term brand authority.
For you listening, whether you are trying to scale a business, maybe distribute academic research, or you just want to understand how the information you consume every day is being filtered, knowing how these AI gatekeepers select their sources is the ultimate modern superpower.
Absolutely.
Digital literacy in 2026 means understanding the agentic web.
It really makes you step back and look at the whole trajectory of the internet. And it leaves me with one final, slightly provocative thought to ponder.
Lay it on me.
Well, if these autonomous AI agents eventually get so highly advanced that they just do 100% of our information gathering, sorting, and summarizing for us, will traditional, beautiful, human-readable website design even matter anymore?
Well,
Or will the visual internet we know and love eventually fade away, becoming just one giant, invisible database of pure code silently talking to other code? Something to think about next time you log on.